The Oscars, the time when Hollywood pats itself on the back for solving racism, or for solving disabilities, or for solving depression by simply making more movies. Yeah, that one was a little heavy-handed. Look, for better or worse, the Oscars are pop culture, and sometimes the films they nominate are actually good. Look, last year I watched all of the Oscar films in 24 hours, and I think I sobbed for about 10 of those hours. This year, I wasn't quite able to do that because I have this thing called, a job. And while I couldn't watch all of the films in 24 hours, I could just watch all the films. So that's what I did. I had a week packed with Oscar nominees. I will give you the talking points to impress those bougie assholes at your Oscars watch party. In other words, I watched all the Oscar films so you don't have to. And I'm breaking them down right here, right now, in just one take, starting in 3, 2, and 1. Dune. Dune is so slutty to be the next Star Wars, it's painfully obvious. Perhaps more obvious than Arrakis being a metaphor for war in the Middle East despite not casting any Middle Eastern actors. Yeah, it gets more fucked up the more you think about it. Dune does have some good things going for it. It's got great cinematography, great costumes, great set design, despite, as I said before, literally plucking elements from the Middle East and plopping them onto the whitest guy imaginable, Timothée Chalamet. In fact, I didn't think it was possible for an actor to get whiter or scrawnier than Chalamet until I saw this actor in Power of the Dog. And if you have not seen Power of the Dog, oh, buckle the fuck up, because have I got a film for you. This film is so horny for the Oscar, and Cumberbatch is so horny for us to believe that he is a cowboy despite this being his American accent.
Give her half a chance and she'll be after some dollars.
Yeah, could be a scotch better, in my opinion. Power of the Dog is also about grooming. Get it? Dog? Grooming? Dog grooming. Anyways, Cumberbatch's character grooms his young nephew, and he later reveals an older cowboy named Bronco Henry once groomed him, and in my opinion, it's a bit strange that Hollywood is celebrating this critique of grooming despite its past with, well, you know. And speaking of grooming, West Side Story. Yeah, we're not gonna go into the details of that because this isn't even the actor to talk about. This is the actor to talk about. Maria is so good. In fact, when I finished watching this film, I literally thought to myself, Christ, Maria must be tired from carrying this film on her back. Don't believe me? This is my literal reaction moments after seeing the movie.
I think Maria must be tired from carrying the film on her back.
Yeah, if West Side Story had found a Tony half as good as their Anita and their Maria, it could have a shot at Best Picture. And sure, the staging and the dancing and the songs are all copies of the original movie. But the original movie is a copy of Romeo and Juliet. And speaking of theater, Drive My Car. If you are a drama school nerd, buckle the fuck up for Drive My Car. And yes, that is a pun. Drive My Car, despite being a foreign film, features 2 absolutely iconic LA experiences. Getting into a car crash while you rehearse your lines, and discovering your spouse is cheating on you with somebody more famous. Drive My Car is for the drama nerds. There is so much Chekhov in this. He's always wistfully rehearsing Uncle Vanya in his car as it winds through the picturesque countryside. It is just delicious. And obviously, this film was nominated because the main character is a tortured actor, and the Academy is basically made up of tortured actors, but let's move away from tortured actors to a film that literally tortured this actor, Licorice Pizza. This film is inappropriate. If you told me Woody Allen ghost wrote this film, I would believe you. This film is about a 25-year-old dating A 15-year-old. And if you're wondering what my reaction was as they finally kissed, it was this.
Absolutely the fuck not! No!
Yeah, maybe, Don't Look Up from that one. And speaking of Don't Look Up is just lucky to be here. Comedies usually never win Best Picture. It's not Don't Look Up's fault. It's so hilarious. I mean that. It is Adam McKay doing what Adam McKay does best, using world-class actors to skewer politics in a not-so-subtle allegory for climate change. Or maybe it's an allegory for COVID? Or perhaps it's an allegory for nuclear bombs? Either way, it's an allegory, and if comedies won, it would have a shot. But let's go from shots to serves. That's right, King Richard, the sports movie. Also, leave a comment below. How many of you thought that this movie was King Richard? Yeah. Maybe don't fall asleep in your English class. This is Macbeth with Denzel Washington, and this is King Richard with Will Smith. This film is about Richard Williams, the father to Venus and Serena Williams. And despite on the surface it being a sports movie, there are so many layers underneath. There are themes about racism, classism, and that thing that happens when a female character changes her hairdo to signify growth. King Richard, to me, is going to inspire so many young girls to follow their dreams. But let's move from dreams to nightmares. That's right, Nightmare Alley. Guillermo del Toro is back, and thank fuck there is no fish fucking in this one. I swear to you, every time I watch a Del Toro film, I think to myself, oh God, is somebody gonna fuck a fish? And thankfully, the only person fucked in this film is Bradley Cooper out of a Best Actor nomination. This is Del Toro's take on a noir, and there are so many noir elements in this film, such as a Chekhov's gun, a femme fatale, a bathtub handjob. Ew. Belfast. Belfast comes from the director that brought you the second best Thor movie. It's about a young boy navigating growing up during the Irish Troubles, and the young boy may or may not be Kenneth Branagh. This film is gorgeous. The acting is letter perfect. The story is so compelling, haunting even. The entire time you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, this is the guy that made the second best Thor movie? In my opinion, Belfast should win, but it will probably lose to Jane Campion because at least she didn't make a Thor movie. And finally, Coda. Coda is about a young girl who loves to sing despite her deaf family not being able to enjoy it. And to quote the great philosopher, isn't it ironic, don't you think? Coda is groundbreaking for casting deaf people to play deaf characters. And you might be thinking, Ashley, it's 2022, surely deaf people are playing deaf characters, and actually no, they're not. As recently as the inspiration for Coda, a French film called La Famille Belair. That film cast hearing actors as the deaf family, and apparently their sign language was so bad, deaf audiences needed subtitles to understand it. And as angry as I am that Coda is somehow the first nominee to, do this, I'm so glad it's here. This film is charming, sweet. It has a big heart. In a lot of ways, it is the anti-Dune. What it lacks in scale, it brings in sentimentality and in representation. And I just want to tell you guys, from the bottom of my heart, I hope that Coda slits Power of the Dog's pretentious, Oscar-hungry throat wide open and sweeps in every category, and those were the Best Picture nominees. In one take. Like and subscribe.